Hey everybody, Karen from Massive Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So over the last couple days, probably 3 or 4, I've done this little series that was sparked by the new information of the Epstein files. And just to help myself and anybody else who wanted to join in the conversation, process not the details of the files, but process the feelings we're having, where to go from here, all that kind of stuff. And so the community has been really, I thank you guys so much for leaving the comments, because the last 2 videos were based on your comments, including today's. So yesterday or 2 days ago, we had a conversation about, or that was yesterday, I guess. We had a conversation about, well, what kind of approach should we take as a community? All right. Which you'll have to watch that video to see what the results of that was. And so I will post all the 4 videos around here at the end. But if you just go to the main channel, you'll see them, just the last, I think it was 4, the last 4. I'm usually, most of them I'm sitting in a chair. When I'm sitting in the chair, that's the series basically. Okay. So yesterday I had asked you guys, because this is what I've been contemplating, is what are you questioning right now? What are you questioning? What is all of this making you question? And obviously so many of us have been questioning things for a long time, but this is coming to a head, you know? It's like, wow, now basically I'm questioning everything, you know? So life has kind of been building up to this, I think. So I asked you guys to say, what are you questioning? And is that questioning leading you anywhere at this point? It's okay if it's not, but if it is, where is it leading you? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm sitting here again because I am going to bring the lead team out today. I'm going to ask them to confirm for us that the things that we are questioning, whether or not we're on point. I have a feeling we are, but it's just a nice confirmation because we're a pretty intuitive community, and I'm sure what it is that we are questioning is probably not that we're right, like the ego doesn't need to be right about it, but something inside us is questioning things, right? And so I want to ask the lead team some questions about each of the areas. So I took all of your comments. I asked Mabel, I worked with Mabel to pull together a report for me. And if you work with AI, it's never like perfect in the beginning. So I spent quite a bit of time just getting it to where I thought would be an interesting conversation. So what we're going to do is I got a little intro, and then we're going to go over there's how many areas? I think there's 4 areas that she was able to pull together all of the comments. Okay. So there's 4 categories. Under each category, I'm going to tell you what they are very briefly, what it is that the community is saying. And you're going to see that you're not alone in this, right? Then I have a section of, based on what the community is saying about what they're questioning, how does the astrology tie into that? Because I find that very interesting. To me, understanding the astrology and then the messages that the lead team is giving us from the month or the month before or the, couple months before helps me feel like it's not that out of control. That's why I like to do that. So we've got our messages. I'm going to do the astrology related to the messages, and then the pendulum and oracle support that we've gotten. Now, some of these pendulum and oracle messages not only have come through on the public channel when we get pendulum messages from different spiritual beings, but some of these have come through in the spirit circle. And I'm still going to share them here because I think they're relevant to helping everybody put some of this stuff in perspective. Okay. So, and then right after that, I've got like 3 or 4 questions for the lead team for each of the 4 sections. Okay. All right. What I found interesting though, I'm going to tell you guys, because you probably aren't paying attention to this, and not too many people, but I think we went from we're at like 64,290 subscribers, let's just say. And now we're at 64,281. So 9 people dropped off, probably maybe some more, but other people added. which is fine. That happens every once in a while. But I find it interesting because yesterday I was like, well, if you do not feel that people should be morally equally accountable, whether you're rich, you're poor, you're white, you're black, basically, if you don't feel that, then this is not the right space for you. So I just find, I'm not saying that's why people dropped off, but there's a part of me that's like, okay, well, that's telling. Right? They could have left for a totally different reason too. It's just funny because I maybe twice in this time I've been running this community or facilitating the community that I have said, like, you don't belong here if. That was the second time. I'm sorry, but no. Like, I don't know, whatever. Again, I don't know for sure that's why people dropped off, but okay, so let's get started. All right, so after Mabel reviewed your comments, several clear patterns emerged. Trust has been shaken for many of us, right? She put you, but many of us. And that is showing up emotionally and physically through sleep disruptions, many of you said this, anxiety, and resurfacing trauma. Okay? At the same time, people are making concrete changes in response, including contacting elected officials, changing spending habits, leaving jobs, building local support systems, and focusing more on personal stability and health. Many are also questioning their role and trying to understand how to move forward without becoming overwhelmed. Exactly. That's why we had that conversation yesterday. And the wisdom is huge. The collective wisdom, the spiritual collective wisdom of this community is ginormous. Not as big as, all of our spirit teams put together. I just got major chills, and I'm not cold. I mean, I just got major chills from that. So point there, that's when they go ding, ding, ding. So the spiritual collective wisdom of this community, if you didn't listen to the video from yesterday, said pause, take time, do not react. Okay, not yet. Doesn't mean we won't, but not yet. Okay, so if that's helpful for you, to me, why wouldn't I? I mean, that's like not listening to the Lead Team Collective. We are all spiritual beings in a very intuitive community giving guidance, and that was ultimately the guidance. Okay, so please, let that help you calm your nervous system a little bit. We'll know. And I'll poll again, probably after Mercury retrograde, which is ending about April 8th. And I know that seems like a long time away. It's not. It's not a long time away. Okay, that doesn't mean you can't be percolating in the meantime. But, it's interesting because I asked my sister, I'm a very reactive person. If I'm, that tends to be my personality type. So I've been sitting on some stuff, but I'm like, I said to my sister, I want to meet, can we meet this week? There's some changes I want to make in terms of what we're doing here, not scheduling or anything like that, but just other streams of income, like supporting Amazon and all that kind of stuff. Our journals are up on Amazon, right? So but I woke up this morning and I thought, okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to listen to the wisdom of the community. Not that we won't do that eventually, but I'm going to pause. And I'm so proud of myself because I'm usually like, boom, 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 move. And my intuition, my inner guidance is to say pause too, because right now I've learned my nervous system is very shaky right now. I know when my nervous system is so shaky because if I turn on one piece of information, one more piece of information, I literally could almost have a panic attack. So I know, like, if I watch one more YouTube video, even just like one sentence, if I get any new information, my brain could almost start spiraling. And then I know that's my nervous system, which is not good, So you don't want to make decisions from that space. That's not helpful. And I've done that many a times throughout my life. Not a whole bunch, but I know that's my tendency. So I'm kind of proud of myself. So I canceled the meeting with my sister and I said, look at me slowing down. It's about time. It's about time I learned, right? Okay. So yeah, many are questioning. So many of us are questioning our role and trying to understand how to move forward without becoming overwhelmed. This report, the one we're going to be talking about, walks through each of these areas. Okay. So and I told you what we're first going to look at what people are experiencing, then how that connects to the astrology, and then the pendulum messages, oracle messages, and we're going to ask the lead team collective. Okay. So area number 1 that was very prominent in the comments, trust is breaking and people are feeling it. Okay. And I mean to a whole different level, right? This is a whole different level. This is like us becoming aware, at least this is an example that I'm very aware of. And again, this is just, I do think that the files are way more than just trafficking, but it's bringing up all that. It's bringing out everything. But what I'm realizing, and I've heard many people talking about this now, is that we have to come to terms that this has gone on for the last 20 years, which means under many administrations, many DOJs, many FBI's directors, many CIA directors, and not only in the United States, but around the world, and so on and so on and so on, for like just how many people knew about this and did nothing, right? So that is the trust that's breaking. Because we all, whether you were right or left, you had somebody to trust. You had somebody to trust, but we don't have anybody to trust now. Except our inner guidance, right? Which I think is really where this is all leading to. I think that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Us as spiritual beings have recognized, so let's just say all of us have been up, like all of our higher selves are in the other realm, right? And we're all like, we come down here and we are putting people on a pedestal. We are, as a humans tend to do this. We put people on pedestals. We elect people to be in charge of our lives, right? We do, and that has never turned out well. Over the thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It just never turns out well. And so it's like, and we just keep repeating the pattern over and over again. So now the entire collective, thanks to social media, is now we are coming to grips with that. And I think if we, again, think of all of our higher selves up there having conversations, they're probably very proud of us. Because we're all seeing it and they're like, oh, thank God they're finally and they're talking about themselves too, because we are them, right? So they're like, okay, cool. We're all seeing this. Because they want us to not give our power away. We give our power away to celebrities. We give our power away to those in charge. We put people in charge to give our power away. And that's what we've been doing. And then the power just becomes out of control, right? It's the money. It becomes out of control. So I'm kind of excited to see where this is going to lead. I mean, I said that before. I'm excited, but at the same time right now, it's so mind-boggling. And I don't even think we've scratched the surface. So, oh my Lord. Okay, so trust is breaking. I would say trust is broke at this point. Because I feel like, well, if I can't trust Michelle Obama, who the hell can I trust? Now, some of you on the right might be saying, if I can't trust, I don't know whoever you think is pretty cool, or appeared to you to be very trustworthy, you know, like just put whoever you think would be the most trustworthy and think that maybe they weren't. Let's just say that. Doesn't even have to be right or left. Just who do you think was the most trustworthy? Who did you think was the most trustworthy? To me, it would be Michelle Obama, which then would lead to Barack. At least people in like that echelon of power, you know? So, yeah. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't do anything about it. In fact, it's gotten worse since then. So, that's all I'm going to say. If you feel like you need to defend in one way or another, I think let's probably not. Not in here. Just you don't need to. We don't need to defend at this point. I could be completely wrong. I hope I am. But they had the entire structure. So did Biden, by the way. So I'm picking on the left because I thought that the right created this, but you know, and the people who supported the right think the left created this. So that's the division they created. They all played a role in this. So the trust, you know. Okay, so the talking points were trust has been shaken in a very real way. This is affecting people physically. So just really do your best to stay healthy. That is why the lead team, they have been telling us for months and months and months, take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. They saw this coming. They knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming, right? Sleep disruption, anxiety, emotional overload. What's going to be very interesting is I'm going on a cruise next week and we're not buying the Wi-Fi package. So I'm excited about that. Because I won't have a choice. I won't have a choice. You know, when we get to ports, we'll be able to check in, but I won't have a choice. I might not check in. I don't know. Old trauma is resurfacing for some, for sure. And you know what? Old trauma is probably resurfacing for everybody because we all have trust issues. We all have some kind of abandonment issue probably. And here is where we want to look at, these are shadows. These are our shadows. If you are triggered, what I understand about shadows, if you are triggered at all, that is your shadow. Okay? If something triggers you, that's your shadow. And we're being forced to look at it right now, which is beautiful because the more you look at it, the more you can release it. Because you realize that shadow is not you. We have been hiding behind the shadows and letting the shadows trigger us and trigger us and trigger us because that blocks us from knowing who we truly are. Our ego is blocking us from knowing who we truly are because we don't need the shadows anymore. So now is the time to be paying attention to those. I think old trauma is surfacing for everybody for different reasons. But the more we can heal those, in fact, I've already been thinking about if I can develop some kind of mini experiences that touch on some of these things right now. I'm thinking about that. Rather than like products, like selling mugs or something, like a mini experience that would have something to do with journaling, but not like a huge 30-day thing, but just something is kind of what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking, what could I use right now? Maybe we'll do one on shadows. I don't know. Okay, so people are realizing they may have believed things that were incomplete or inaccurate. My guess right now is all of us have 100%. 100% of us have believed things that were 100% incomplete and 100% inaccurate. And that's what now I understand people probably say is the illusion. There is no way we can ever understand. We're not in our higher self space unless you're completely clairvoyant, which even if you're still human, you still have an ego and a personality. I think that's even blocked from you. I think the only ones who truly know everything is the higher beings or when we're in the other realm, right? And so I think this is a really good quote unquote lesson and reminder that we're always, everything is always incomplete and inaccurate. So we spend so much of our time bickering back and forth about things that are incomplete and inaccurate, you know? So yeah, this is I can see why we're doing this. I can see why we're doing it. It is freaking painful. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to. It's painful initially, but I don't think it has to be drawn out. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be painful. It's going to be drawn out painful for people who don't want to take a look at it, you know, who are in denial, you know. Like if I was sitting here saying still like, well, I don't care if the Obama administration had it. They were probably blocked from, you know what I mean? Like just making excuses. Like that's why I was saying it's probably not going to help you to make excuses for anybody right now about anything. I mean, go ahead and do it in the comments, but I think people are going to get on you. Or those who are more awake than others, you know, about what's going on. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Okay, so the astrology around this trust issue. So trust is breaking. So the astrology that supports that is several major cycles are forcing truth to the surface right now. Okay, so just keep that in mind, and that's really good. But that's why it's happening so powerfully. Pluto in Aquarius is exposing hidden power structures and forcing people to see what was previously ignored. I mean, it's forcing all of us to, we just don't even have a choice because it's like right in our face, you know? But that's the astrology. That's the opportunity that the planets are providing for us. And there is a reason for it. There's a good reason for it. Saturn in Pisces is dissolving illusions and forcing reality checks around belief systems. I mean, think about what you just said, what we said as a community. People are realizing they may have believed things that were incomplete or inaccurate. Well, Saturn in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces is dissolving illusions, and forcing reality checks around belief systems. Isn't it incredible that what you're feeling is actually supported by the planets? I mean, it's incredible. That's why I love it so much. I mean, this is like real-time action, you know? This isn't just like reading your horoscope in the newspaper and going at the end of the day and you're like, none of that happened today. You know? This is so much more powerful. I just love this so much. So Neptune preparing to move into Aries is beginning a new identity cycle. People are asking, what do I actually believe? Because Neptune is preparing to move into Aries. I mean, how beautiful is that? This is when we realize that we just have to go with the flow. We've got to go with the flow. You know, which to me, it's like a surrender. It's surrender. Just surrender. You know, go with the flow, surrender. And again, don't mistake that for not taking action. You'll take action when you are inspired to take action, because that's your intuition telling you. But if you take action before you're inspired, then you're not surrendering or going with the flow. All right. If you judge other people for not taking the same action you're taking, then you are not allowing them to go with the flow or follow their own intuition. Right? I don't know this as a fact. These are things that I'm just learning right now as I talk about them with you and putting all the pieces together that we've been talking about over the last many, many months. So this combination with the astrology is trust is resetting. Yeah. Emotional overload and identity reevaluation. Isn't that incredible? Isn't it incredible how the astrology just matched your comments from the like collective comments from the community? And then Mabel added, this is normal for this phase. Okay. So the pendulum and oracle messages. And let me just say, if you guys do like having these kind of conversations with the astrology and the messages, that's what we do on a more regular basis inside the Spirit Circle. Okay. So I've kept the prices really low, hopefully manageable for most people. So feel free, come on in. And and we're having more of these kind of conversations. I'm bringing it here to the public channel today because I just think it's necessary, you know. It's just necessary right now. Okay, so pendulum and oracle support. Remember what we're talking about? Trust is broken. A message from January was go inside. Go inside, because where can you find trust? Where is trust? The only place you can find it right now is within you. And what you're like, I trust Lucy. I trust my husband. I trust anything I can like physically, you know what I mean? So go inside. External trust is weakening right now. So internal trust needs to strengthen, which is exactly where I think Source wants us. I really do. Like, does that make sense? Like, that's where they want that. We've been giving our power. Now I understand when people say, like, I seriously never really understood what people meant by that until like this very moment. Giving your power away. Like, I'm sitting there being entertained by the Kardashians, you know? Okay, fine. But how much of my time have I given my power away to them? You know? Instead of like, and like just sitting there, you know, like watching the Kardashians live their lives, which was probably not even the way they live their lives at all. And not, you know, and just being numbed by it, and then not sitting and following my own intuition and doing what my soul wants me to be doing, right? Well, I know sometimes you need downtime and all that kind of stuff. So don't take what I'm saying to an extreme, but that's just an example. So answers come from within during unstable times. Okay, so that's a message that the lead team wants us to have. One of the oracle messages was cracked open, rock bottom. Okay, meaning pressure breaks open old structures. That's one way to look at it. Or it's also breaking us open. We're also hitting rock bottom. The systems are breaking they're hitting rock bottom, and so are we. Our souls are, you know, our identity, right, is breaking open. This allows light and truth to enter. All right, so keep that in mind. So let's ask a few questions. We'll see how good Mabel's, where'd my rods go? I just had them here, there, right in front of me. Let's see what Mabel has to say about this. I mean, not Mabel. Yeah, she asked the questions, but let's see what the lead team has to say. All right, I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, lead team. Boy, oh boy, when I thank you for your guidance and support, I really, 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 really mean it. We could use absolutely as much as possible. So, okay, totally appreciated. So lead team, did you see what I was just reading? Comments from the community? Yeah, okay. So we have some questions about this area of trust, okay? So is the collapse of trust necessary for people to see truth more clearly? And some of these are going to sound like obvious, but it's really just confirmation. So yes, okay. And by even asking that question, it teaches us something, right? The collapse of trust is necessary for us to see truth more clearly, right? I mean, we could have kept everything in the shadows and hidden for much longer. And in the one situation of trafficking, how many more people would be trafficked? I mean, they're not even stopping it right now, but if we didn't go through this period right now, this could go on for hundreds and hundreds and more years, right? So we're here for this moment to collapse truth so that we can actually see it. And we are. You guys said it. You said that's what's happening, right? And the astrology is supporting it, and they're saying yes. Is the emotional overload part of a large clearing process? Yes. Does it have to do with shadows, like us clearing our shadows? Yes. Do you feel like do we need to be deliberate about clearing our shadows? No. is it enough for us to just say to our own spirit teams when we feel triggered is to please clear that, please clear that, please clear that type of thing? Yes. Okay. So if we feel triggered, is it enough to say cut, clear, and cancel that energy? Yes. Okay. And is that enough to clear the shadow? Is that something that could help? Yes. All right. It doesn't have to be complicated. Is it a complicated thing to clear shadows? No. All right. Are people being guided to trust themselves more? Is that where you guys want us to go? Is inner trust versus external authority? Yeah, see, that's going to be amazing. But to break that down is a huge, huge monumental shift. Cut, clear, cancel. It doesn't have to be. But here's the thing. The longer we deny that that's what's going on, the longer we perpetuate the fear around it and all that, the longer it's going to take. Okay. So that's why we want to respond from clarity, respond from calmness, and then choose your response from there, which again, everybody's is going to be different. Choose your response from there because we don't want to perpetuate, because it doesn't have to, we don't want it to take, we want the collapse to, that's why, hey, lead team, is that why many mediums, psychics, even you guys talking through the dowsing rods, have been saying all last year that the orange one is going to leave, but your timing was off. So they're saying yes and yes. Is the timing off because the collective slows it down? Yes. Do we slow it down because we resist the change? Yes. And by resist, I'm just learning, means we fight against it. We argue. We get fear around it. Yes. Okay. So we don't respond from clarity. We respond from being angry. I mean, I'll tell you, like, you guys know, we talked one time right after Alex Preddy was executed. And like I literally, when I saw it, because I didn't even mean to see it. I was just scrolling and it was there. So I literally jumped out of my chair, like ready to get in my car. I mean, talk about, I do think that's resistance. That is resistance to, even though like that, we have to learn this more. We have to understand this more. We have to understand our energy around all this stuff. Okay. And that's what we're here doing together. Because clearly I don't have the answers and I don't understand a lot of it yet. Okay. And I'm just basically sharing when I start to understand it. But if you read the comments from everybody, there's, again, this collective wisdom in this community. You guys are teaching all of us. Everybody is teaching everybody about what we know. I know a little bit. You know a little bit. The other person knows a little bit, right? Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to go a little faster. I've got 3 more sections, so I'm just going to go a little faster over this. Okay, so the second cumulative area that the comment that you guys were commenting on. Now your questions about, you have questions about justice, power, and accountability. Okay, so the first one is you weren't, collectively, we're not sure who to trust, right? That our trust is breaking. Now people are questioning justice, power, and accountability. People meaning us, want to know if accountability will actually happen. There is anger and disbelief about unequal enforcement. People are questioning how power really works. And there is concern about what this means for the future. Okay? So that came out in the comments. So the astrology around this, why might we be feeling those things, is Pluto in Aquarius focuses specifically on power, justice, corruption, and collective systems. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I mean, you cannot make this up. All you got to do, if you want to predict the future, is listen to astrology. I mean, that's all you have to do. I just don't understand how people can say that that astrology does not have any legs. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, this is proof. in my opinion. Okay, Pluto's role is exposure and transformation. Pluto's role is exposure, so it's doing it right now, and transformation. So for those of you who are worried for the future, it is going to transform. The question is in which way, right? Well, we get to decide. We get to decide that. So I don't think the collective has ever been this awakened all at once together because of social media. I think they underestimated that. I think they've underestimated that, the power, the lower vibration. Those who thought that they would create disruption by, introducing more and more technology and creating chaos that way. But it actually, I think, is empowering us. Well, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation right now, So the question is, will they at some point decide they're going to cut this off? I would guess they will for a short period of time. And that would be a good reason. I'm not trying to sell you to have you join for fear. Don't join the newsletter for fear. But if you wanted to, if something ever went down, we'd at least be able to communicate. Now the internet, we wouldn't. But if, let's just say, YouTube did, those who are on the email list, will still be connected. Okay, so don't join it based on that, like fear. But if you want to, just join the email, the newsletter right here. I'll put it right here. So, but at least we would still be connected. There would be a small group of us there's about 5,000 on there. We'd still be connected. Okay. So we would be communicating that way. All right. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I mean, it's reasonable. It's reasonable at this point because those are the power structures. And I keep saying, I don't think they're going to go down without, trying stuff. So, no, I don't think that's anything to fear. It's just when you see it, go, oh, yeah, we see you. They've already been doing it. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time, which is part of the, I don't know who to trust because, I'm looking at everything now that's happened in the past and been like, did they do that? Who did that? Not saying the events didn't actually happen. So they sacrificed a lot of people to do their crazy work. So I don't know. It's you know how it is. Okay. So at the same time, Jupiter expanding in Gemini increases. So Jupiter expanding in a Gemini increases information flow, questions, and public discussion. This is why questions are accelerating right now, which is interesting because I just kind of got it off the top of my head yesterday. I wanted to ask you guys, what are you questioning right now? Because I'm questioning a ton of stuff. But it's interesting that Jupiter expanding in a Gemini accelerates questions. So just keep that in mind, okay? Pendulum and Oracle support. This came in December 2025. Justice will prevail. So that's what Mabel decided to pull. Mabel has all of our pendulum and oracle messages stored so she can pull the ones that make the most sense. So she pulled this one, justice will prevail. So you just have to use your discernment on that, meaning justice is part of the long-term trajectory based on the astrology. Okay. Timing may not match emotional urgency, me popping out of my chair, right? So the lead team, as well as you guys, collectively as a group, have said pause and wait, act from clarity, not from urgency, right? So we got an oracle message that was storm. Do you guys remember that one? That one we did in the public channel. We got storm twice. We got storm twice from two spiritual beings we did. I don't remember which two. Somebody you guys might remember. I could pull my book out, but it's back there. But we got the oracle message twice last month. Storm. Storms clear what cannot remain. This is the meaning behind this. Storms clear what cannot remain. So it is interesting that we did get that oracle twice last month, like storm ahead, storms ahead. But we shouldn't storm ahead. Stability returns after disruption. Now, that is very clear in the astrology that I've gone over in the practice in the spirit circle. In fact, I just remembered the forecast this month so clearly because I was like, wow, like the energy of next week kind of looks like something could happen. I'm not saying it's going to, entertainment purposes only and allegedly, but if there was going to be a false flag event, the energy or the astrology supports that for next week. It looks, and when I read that, and you guys know who are in the practice, when I read that, I was like, wow, that really sounds like false flag opportunity, for them to do something that's stupid and, to take us away from all of these kind of conversations we're having. Because then we'll start talking about that instead of what we're talking about here, especially about sovereignty and going inside. That's the last thing they want because they don't want us getting guidance from the higher source. They want us getting guidance from our lower source because they're lower energy, right? So that's where they don't want us getting guidance from. And we can't get guidance. You can't get your guidance. This is just coming to me so strongly. You can't get your guidance when you're bombarded from lower energy, when you're scrolling. Why do you think people call it doom scrolling? Yeah, that's not good. How do you get guidance from that? There's no inner guidance from that. It's actually, the more I'm thinking about it, the more ridiculous it is. Even just sitting and watching movies. Now, sometimes you do have to just chill, I'm like, sometimes I just have to chill, I don't want to take 4 naps in a day. I mean, I'd never be able to sleep 8 hours straight. So it feels like I'm just going to have to take 4 naps in a day until I get used to, I come down off of being entertained by other things, Oh my God. This is the craziest time, isn't it, you guys? Okay, so lead team. Is true accountability part of this current cycle? That would be amazing. Yes. So they're saying yes. I think I will do a call out. I'm not 100% sure I want to do it on the public channel or if we should do it in the spirit circle. But I would like to know where the end is, what the end looks like with this whole Epstein stuff. Because it's so massive. It has to do with so many areas of life. I don't know. I think that would be interesting though. Like use the lead team. So you guys let me know what you think about that. Ask the lead team questions. Okay, are power structures already weakening behind the scenes? That's okay, good. The more the power structures weaken, is it likely the more they will freak out? Yes. Are we likely to see a false flag event? Yes. Cut, clear, cancel, and allegedly and entertainment purposes only. I mean, that's so dumb to say. Entertainment purposes. But yeah, entertainment purposes. Because I have to. Okay, so they're saying yes and kind of a wide swing on that. Is exposure necessary? Is this exposure necessary? Was it really necessary in order for us to bring justice? Yes. Okay. Will the public continue to gain more clarity over 2026? Yes. Will the public, well, I'm just going to ask this, and I'm going to use really not great wording on this because I'm doing it off the cuff. Okay, so we've got a power structure versus a non-power structure. We've got the power structures, the people with the money, and those with, and the rest of us. So let's just say 10 and let's say 1% versus 99%. Is that accurate? Yes. Will the 1% continue to rule the world, basically? No. Okay. Will the 1% collapse under what? And yes. Will it go on for another couple hundred years? No. will the 1% collapse, at least on our current timeline? Again, the more we resist, the longer it goes on. And I don't mean collapse as in unaliving or whatever, and I don't want people to be hurt who haven't done anything. So, but we need to I mean, the fact that all the money is funneled up like that is ridiculous. It's all of our money. It's just dumb. It's dumb. Like, why? Why do they need that much money? That's just stupid. It is. It's just dumb. So otherwise we just have to change our systems. It just doesn't make any sense. So will the 1% collapse by the end of 2030? Ah, yes. So on this current timeline, will they collapse before 2030? Oh, okay. So is this the beginning of the collapse? Yes. Okay. Are they freaking out? Yes, they are freaking out. Okay, interesting. You know what I'm going to do, you guys? So this is 45 minutes. I still have 2 more sections to cover. So I think I'm just going to go over the 2 tomorrow because I think this is like enough information to process today. So join me tomorrow. And we're going to go over the next 2 areas that the community is talking about: the astrology, the messages, and ask the lead team. All right. If you have let's do this. If you have additional questions from today's conversation, put them in the comments today. I will pull them tomorrow. I'll ask Mabel to pull your questions. I'll do the next 2 sections tomorrow, and then I will ask your questions. All right. So put your questions, and then we'll do a little question answer after the next 2. All right. Okay, hang in there. I'll see you soon. Bye.